Hello everyone, welcome to Sunday Musicians Café. Hope you can hear me well, see me well. I'm gonna double check online if everything is going well. Before starting, I just wanted to say a few words about this project because we are at the 14th episode, if I'm not mistaken. And really, I wanted to thank everyone for the unexpected amount of incredible positive feedbacks and wonderful messages I received for this project. And really, I couldn't expect such an interest from people, but really there is. And if you have any suggestions, and many of you already gave me many suggestions, and also people to invite and new guests to interview, and please drop me a DM, a message, or leave a comment on the post, and I will try my best really to invite the people you want to listen to. And I feel very lucky and honored of having met incredible performers and such wonderful artists where I go performing around the world, but especially in London as well, and really being able to have this project in which I can unite all of this talent together. It's really a dream becoming true. So I'm really happy to start this new season, and we have incredible guests from now to December already, trying to schedule some of them, and it will be such an incredible journey as well. So I hope you had a nice summer break and time to rest, time to enjoy good company in the summer. And welcome to this Sunday Musicians Café of the new season. So today we have a fantastic guest, which it's been quite difficult to manage to schedule this meeting, because both of us, we are very busy, and she's incredible. So she's always very active and doing things, and she's always either in Poland or Lebanon or England, and she's very active in London, obviously, and as many of my guests. But she is so versatile, and I hope she's gonna tell us more about her experience between Poland and England. And she's a friend in common, basically. So I got to know her, I think in May or something like this, in June, May. And as soon as I met her, really I was struck by the creativity, by the such a powerful communicator she is, and I hope she will tell us more about what she's doing and how amazing she is on the viola and the voice, actually. So Ella Kalicka is the guest of today, so let's invite her. I wanted to check if everything is all right. If you have any problem hearing me or seeing me, please drop a message and let me know if everything is okay on the technical side. So we are ready to start. I'll invite her. So hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Fantastic. I can see you well as well. So, how are you, Ella?
Um,
Fantastic. Eventually, we did it. Eh?
yes, it's been a while since we were trying to
Yeah,
schedule
actually, yes.
this lovely chat.
I was just saying that I was like, wow, it's been difficult, but really worthy. I know
Good
already.
things come to those who wait. So here we are.
That's good. That's good. You can see, guys, already she is really, really very inspiring person, and I want to know more about what you're doing and how is at the moment. How was your summer break as well?
Can't hardly call it a summer break.
Okay.
I have been traveling a lot, but it's all kind of been either music or church related. So yeah, my summer has been steady busking time. So I'm a full-time busker at the moment, playing my viola and singing mostly on South Bank. Lovely area, lovely buskers around me as well. So that has been my focus for the summer.
Okay.
And I had a couple of trips as well that involved music. You mentioned both, yeah, Poland and
Poland
Lebanon.
and Lebanon. Yes. How was Lebanon?
Oh, it was so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful country and such a beautiful nation. Like the people are just, oh, I love them. I love them deeply. And I really want to see the land restored and the nation restored
Yeah.
to the glory that it's supposed to have and it used to have. And
I
obviously,
was very close to Lebanon because I was in
yeah.
Israel for 2 weeks and a
Oh,
half, and we were actually at the border to
yeah.
Lebanon, so very close to in the north. And yeah, I guess the panorama is very similar as well. So it's very nice. It's so nice,
It's
and
so.
yeah, it's so beautiful, so beautiful. So what you were doing in Lebanon?
I was actually on a mission trip.
Mhm.
So went with like a international and interdenominational team for 10 days
Okay.
in Lebanon, kind of visiting different churches, different communities. It was a Christian mission, and I got to like partner with different music teams and different music leaders.
Very nice.
Well, which was really fun and like very different as well. Like you would think that the kind of worship church music scene would be more or less similar in many places, but you can really feel like the music of the region being used in the church as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like it's so
Right.
much more complex than the kind of
Yeah.
contemporary Christian music
Yeah.
scene. So I was like, oh my gosh, I will need the chord sheets. I can't just improvise knowing the key of the because there's so many like key changes and so many just strange chords thrown in.
I see. I see.
But like it's much harder to follow, but very fun to do.
I see, I see. Tell us more about this because I think you're the first guest, and I'm very happy for this. And eventually, someone that is in interplace between sacrum and profanum, right? And tell us more about your ministry, your connection with the faith, and how you see music in your life.
Yeah. So I very recently did a talk on Radio Maria about it. And like I really realized how music and faith have been so intertwined in my life that in a way like I can't view either completely separated from one another. Like my faith has always been influencing like maybe the type of music I'm playing or like my approach to music, and vice versa. Like my faith has always been like supplemented by music, and a lot of my kind of participation in the church or taking like leadership roles in the church had been to do with music. Because obviously if I was a young musician, a teenager, and part of this like a youth group or something, and they're like, Ella, you play an instrument, come and play with us, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can sing, I'm happy to sing, but like improvising,
yeah, it's difficult.
songs
Because actually you are classical trained.
Yes,
before.
I'm classical trained. Yes.
So that's for us it's like a difficult thing to improvise, as we know.
Absolutely, absolutely. But a little bit of that kind of, like, oh, just come along, just play whatever, like play the root chords or something. Like you know how to do that. You can read music, so you know what the G chord is, you know what the D chord is, those kind of things. So slowly but surely, I got like more comfortable with playing alongside contemporary songs without like much preparation, basically improvising or kind of improvising, like first maybe playing the root chords or like just playing the chord notes and figuring my way through that. But it gave me so much freedom that like I didn't realize it will. It just took me out of the box of like, this is the music I'm playing because it's written, somebody has written it, arranged it, and this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, into this more creative side of I can, it doesn't have to be very complicated, but I can make music in the moment on my own and actually be a part of something that in some ways is pre-planned, because like we all know which songs we're going to be doing, but there's an element of this like creativity to it, which
Yes.
I really like. I really like that marriage between having a little bit of preparation, having like knowing what you're doing, knowing your baseline, but then on top of that, having enough freedom to just like just make things on the spot and in the moment.
Yeah.
So
Really,
like,
it really, I guess it really wakes up that part of our creativity, which is somehow hidden because of the classical music train experience, right? So we are used to, as you said, playing something that is already written down, and our creativity goes around the already a frame that is already for us. It's very difficult to follow, but we have to interpret the piece, so that creativity comes there. But when you make your own music and you just released like 4 albums or something, like I don't know how many albums.
Just one.
Just one. Just one. I saw so many different solos, and I mean, but I guess
I've released
many singles.
Yeah, I've released singles, but they're all part of the album. But obviously,
I see.
Part of the kind of, you know, the leading up to releasing the album, there's been singles released first.
Fantastic.
But yeah, there's only been one album, but I mean, I'm still alive, so hopefully many more to come.
Of course. I really enjoyed the music, by the way, and I really loved it, and I think it's so sincere music, which is very, very difficult to find nowadays, because it's always very, very much you have so much structure and over structure of people trying to convince you of a product, when actually your music is it speaks directly to the heart. And when I was listening to that, it was like, wow, that music is really herself trying to communicate to us, you know, with music. And I think that it's also coming from your busking experience, which is nowadays it's still in the classical music world. And you can tell us about this. And I'm very convinced this is totally wrong. And people still think that busking is kind of a second level performing, when actually I would bet nobody can actually do it, because I tried myself, you know, and I was like, okay, this is difficult stuff. I mean, I'm not prepared, you know, and I'm not used to play in front of people while practicing, let's say, you know. I'm used to play when everything is perfect. But, you know, tell us about this and how you manage this switching from one approach to another approach.
Yeah. I mean, busking has been like so good for me. Both like as a means of just supporting myself financially. When I moved to London, I moved for drama school, so I was you know, kind of a young adult moving to a new city with not much work experience, and I was like, all I've got is this music skills that I've been you know, training for years and years, so I might as well try to make some money off of that. But it opened up this whole new world of performance for me. I kind of like to think of it almost like the in-between of when you're just on your own practicing and when you're in a concert hall and like people actually paid to see you, and like there is a standard of like, oh, you have to be, you know, it has to be like exquisite and perfect, and the stakes are quite high. So it's kind of in the middle when it comes to the pressure. Obviously, a lot of people kind of look at it as like, oh, that's really brave. But I've been performing most of my life, so I've already gone past the point of, you know, playing in front of people. It's just a different setting. And in a sense, yes, it is harder because you don't have an audience that came to see you. But also you get to engage with people you wouldn't normally engage with. And you like, some of the connections I've experienced while busking are like so beautiful and so genuine, and you can see how much joy it brings to people. I've recently was kind of thinking about, you know, like, what am I doing? What am I doing there on the street? Like, what is the deeper thing? Like, apart from me just playing some music and people tipping me because they enjoyed it. And what I noticed is the connections that people had, like the moments of connection people had between themselves. Like a parent dancing with their kid, or you know, someone, you know, really engaging with the music, or, you know, a couple just, you know, start dancing together or having a little hug, or like just the kind of human connection that the music was sparking in people. That's something that is like, you can't put like a price on that. And it's really beautiful to be a part of it when it's like, and you're playing in an unexpected setting. Like people don't expect to be moved while they're walking down, you know, South Bank, between their, I don't know, National Theatre and trip, and you can interrupt their everyday life a little bit.
That's fantastic. I never looked at it in that way. It's actually so beautiful. It's very beautiful, because obviously when I think of performing, always the same boring stuff that I'm used to do, and you know, and people are prepared, and people are like, they have expectations actually. So the anxiety also of the performance comes from that, so from the expectation of the public, because they are paying a ticket to listen to that specific song, specific piece that they want to hear perfectly, and they want to be moved. But in your case, you're really moving people from a different point, so that they don't expect you to move them. So and that much more sincere probably. And you will never see someone hugging in a theater, you know. But in the street, yes, in the street, yes. This is so nice. This is so nice. And you think, like I mean, I guess your recent works, like the album you were talking about, comes from a busking experience, but I don't know, maybe it also comes from different work you have done in the past, or what is the origin of this album?
I think it kind of, it's almost like a collection of inspiration of just life in general, because creating the album, it wasn't really like a concept album where I had a clear vision of, this is the album I want to write. In a way, it's more of a collection, or like an anthology of songs I've written over the years, and some of them I've written specifically for the album, but some of them is just kind of my early stages of me writing songs, and then I'm sharing them with people, and they're like, "Ella, you should record them." And I'm like, okay, maybe I should. And then, you know, this whole album came out of that, just people kind of affirming that the things that I'm writing are really resonating with them. And if you asked a teenage me, if, you know, could you write a song? Like, do you write songs? I'd be like, absolutely not. I always thought I'm just gonna, you know, engage with music and with songs from a point of a performer, where I'm just presenting somebody else's work, putting my own, you know, genuine interpretation of it. But I never thought I'd have anything like particularly interesting to say. And like, everything has been said. Like, you know, there's so many perspectives. There's so many songs that have been written.
I feel you.
And so I was just like, nah, I don't think that's for me. Like, it was never something that was on my radar, until I was really, really encouraged by my contemporary song teacher in my drama school, Kevin Mark Trail. Wonderful man, wonderful songwriter, and a wonderful artist, beautiful voice as well. And he was quite big on songwriting, on kind of the very genuine expression as an artist. And actually, he's like one of the people who kind of encouraged me to try this very strange combination of me singing and accompanying myself on the viola. I don't think we mentioned it here. Actually, I have a very strange, unique act.
I was about to go for it, because obviously you're not just singing the songs. You also play the viola and you record yourself. How do you manage actually the two things together?
It's not easy. And most people are like, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, I didn't know either until I tried. And obviously with managing an instrument that is not really like a harmonic instrument, you know, we don't have frets, so you kind of have to really watch for your intonation all the time. And same with singing. It's not the easiest thing to do, and you kind of have to manage your expectations of like what you can do while multitasking those two things.
Someone's saying Ella plus Viola equals
Oh,
music.
thank you,
That's
Michael.
really good. Thank you, Michael, for your feedback.
Yeah, so
It's true, it's true. I mean, you can manage it very well. So
thank you.
I guess, do you know how to play the piano as well?
Yes,
Okay.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But when you busk, sorry for the stupid questions,
Yeah.
but when you busk, you have just the viola and the loop station?
Yeah.
Or...
Viola, vocals, and loop station.
And loop
Yeah.
station.
And some
You don't
songs I
have
would
any keyboards?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Are you a coffee person? Just a little break.
Yeah. So this is my little. I am a coffee person. I don't drink coffee very often because it just doesn't agree with my stomach that well. But this is a little coffee alternative, like it's a kind of cereal coffee. It's really nice.
Ah, I see. Like it's not made of coffee beans, but it's,
yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I see. Well, I'm a coffee person. Now I'm having like an iced coffee because it's too hot here. It's unbearable hot. It's really Italy, really, trust me. It's really hot. But I'm really much an espresso person. So. Do people drink while you perform? Yes, most of them. Coffee, I guess.
Not that often,
No?
actually. Now that I think of it, I mean, sometimes you can see someone, but I think because South Park is so touristy, I guess most people would like sit down.
Are you always in the same places?
Most of the time, yeah. Yes, at the moment, I'm kind of I've settled in on South Bank, and I quite enjoy it there. Because you have to audition, like you have to have a license for it.
About this. Tell us
yeah,
about
so
this. How does it work actually? The process of becoming a busker, professional busker.
So I mean, it's it can be as straightforward or as complicated as you want to, because there are a lot of places where you can busk just as it is. Just bring out your guitar and put the case in front of you, sing a few songs, and you know that's it. But then in London, it's slightly more. Like it's like a professional world of buskers. So you have like the central London crowd, and
it really is, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of places in central London are currently licensed, like the South Bank kind of little stretch between London Eye and South Bank Centre. And yeah, I auditioned last year, so they hold auditions usually like twice a year. And if they have openings, they would invite more people to the scheme, which is like it's kind of bizarre to like audition to be a busker.
No, makes sense. I mean, when you're talking about London, which is
yes,
you have so many tourists, so you want to give also a perspective of what is good in London. I mean, you don't want people that don't know how to play. I understand the point of business.
But if you think of like the
yes, the idea,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes,
I'm also part of the like network rail scheme, so I can busk on network rail stations in London, like Waterloo, Liverpool Street. But for those, it's not like it's even more complicated because you actually have to send your availability ahead, so you actually get slots assigned.
I see.
So it's kind of like very organized busking. It's mostly for like safety on stations, obviously in UK.
Yeah, I guess it's because also not to play with other people in the same moment and not too much the timings. And for how long you can busk in a place where you were being assigned, let's say?
Yeah, most of the central London slots are somewhere between 45 and an hour long slots.
Okay, not too long actually.
So on South Bank, it's usually an hour. And obviously, if there's nobody else on the pitch, you can just busk however long you want, and as long as you don't play just like 3 songs over and over and annoy everybody.
But sorry for the question, but nobody's checking on you, right?
No, not really. I mean, on South Bank there is like because it's licensed, so if there was something going, like if you're too loud or something, they will obviously be like strike 1, or if you busk after the hours that are
really okay.
Yeah,
so
like
there is always a person like checking.
I mean,
actually,
it's not like they're always there, but if they, if they hear, like there is security on South Bank. They're less. I think the people who check on the buskers are less security based. It's more like the people who run the busking scheme in South Bank. So there's like contact people there. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's usually hour-long slots, and you just queue like on the day, first come first serve. Show up. If you want to join the queue, you leave your gear. go grab a coffee, read a book, sunbathe, I don't know.
Yes, I understand. But I mean, you have also a lot of stuff with you because you have the viola, the mics, and everything. So
Yeah.
it must be
I've
such
got
a
a little
pain.
cart. I've got a little cart. But that's the thing,
Fantastic.
because the system is that you leave your stuff at the pitch. I mean, I usually like keep my viola with me, like I don't leave it at the pitch, but I leave the other stuff. You're more or less free to, like, you know, roam about, which is quite nice. And it's like, I find like the trust system between the buskers, like, it's so strange. Because like in any other situation, I would never leave my gear with strangers.
Actually, yes.
Obviously, over time, like if you busk in the same spot, you get to know people,
Yeah.
and you develop a relationship with them. But like, if you know, first time, it's like, you don't know who they are. You don't know if they're gonna, you know, you just don't know the people, and you don't know the people around, obviously, because it's not even about the buskers, but like more about all the other people that pass by, and it's like, oh, free gear, let me
Just
take
take
that.
it. Yeah, exactly. Talking about trust, how do you cope with people? I mean, obviously you exposing yourself into that, and people are recording you, taking pictures, you know. And how do you cope with that? I guess at the beginning was kind of hard to really,
I don't mind that much. Like, I don't mind people taking pictures or taking videos and stuff. Like, I think in the current age of social media, it's kind of inevitable. And also, a lot of the time, people would like tag me in the stories. So in a way, it's
good.
like a marketing tool. Like, I am almost like a public person. I mean, not even almost. I guess I am a public person when I'm performing. But I mean, it kind of depends on the area as well. Obviously, you get weird people everywhere, but I had mostly like really lovely encounters with people. There's very few instances where like things would go a bit dodgy or a little bit unsafe. But there's like,
would you give us an example, or is too?
Oh, I was one time I was busking at South Bank, and there was this man. I mean, I'm sure he had some kind of like mental struggle thing. Like, I don't think it was just a kind of regular person. And from the kind of start, when I was so when we were changing sets, the girl who was playing earlier, she was saying, "Oh, I think, yeah, he's a bit off, and I think he really doesn't like change. So when the buskers are changing, he's getting a bit more agitated and like being slightly like verbally abusive towards the next person." I'm like, great. And at first it was okay. Like from time to time he would like throw a couple of words, trying to say something. I didn't even understand what he was saying. But like at some point he like stood up and he was like getting closer and closer. But thank God for lovely people around. There are some other artists who like do the mime mime work and stuff like that. Those performances. So someone like messaged we have a group chat for security on South, which is like one of like really lovely things about South Bank being,
really good.
First of all, licensed, but also because it's such a small scheme and there's a lot of things happening on South Bank. They actually have a security team, and there's a group chat, we can message, and people they will like someone will show up
and you never feel alone, I guess. Also.
Exactly. Like there is a little bit of the kind of safety net, which I know in central London, in Westminster, there isn't, even though it is licensed, but there is no like an overall security, because it's the whole borough really. So it's a little bit different. So I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing, like nothing really, like nothing happened to me. But like it was a threatening situation, but it got resolved. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess you will. I mean, do you have a plan to stay longer busking in your life now next year, or you're planning to move on doing something else?
At the moment, I'm quite happy in London, and
that's good.
I do enjoy busking, and in a way, it's also like a seasonal work for me, because I don't busk when it's cold. Some people do. I find them very brave and also very crazy. But I think also, like the type of instrument I'm playing, obviously, I think you can kind of get away with a guitar in the winter, but like viola, probably not. So it gives me enough time off that I get excited to come back to busking when it starts to get warm in the spring. But also, I'm a trained actor. I studied musical theatre, so I'm always auditioning,
Tell
on
us.
the lookout for jobs. So yeah, it's kind of like the marriage of. So I love music. I love storytelling. I love movement, dance, basically anything that you can put on stage. I love, and I just always loved like the intersectionality of things as well, of being able to be in a show or present something that is combining different art forms. That was because like I can't just like stick to one thing. Like I want them all.
Very much musical theater, actually. What you're describing, yes.
Yes, exactly. So I've studied musical theater. And because I play the instruments as well, in the UK, there's quite a big market for actor musicianship shows, which is basically shows that utilize a cast of actors who also play instruments. And it's less like musical theater based, and it's more like theater with instrumental music, maybe some songs, but basically you're being a musician while you're an actor on stage, or kind of like a band. It's really fun. So I'm kind of crossing between those two, so musical theatre.
I can see already. We'll see Ella Kalicka in Leicester Square one day. The show, of course.
Hopefully.
Yes,
Hopefully.
why not? I really think you have very good talent, and you're promising. You're very promising, and as I said, you're very sincere. And stepping back a bit on the faith, and I'm very interested in that. And how do you? Maybe you don't do it, but how do you pass the message of the faith in case you want to accept, apart from the text, let's say, of the songs, during your busking time? You have like specific tools you would, adopt, or?
It depends. Like I treat my work as like an act of worship. I think it's a good expression. Maybe a little bit not very well understood by
Explain.
Who don't have the context, but basically I treat my work as an offering to God, and I believe that everything that I do, is ultimately meant for Him, and because I am a Christian, everything I do is Christian, and like, even when I sing secular songs,
this is so beautiful.
I do it for the glory of God. So even if people don't know it, and most of them won't know it, but it's like, I think it's still, it makes a difference in a way. But also I have one song that I've written. It is on the album. It's called The Prayer of Jabez. It's based on an Old Testament prayer. It is in Polish, so it's kind of like slightly covered way of kind of praying on the street while I'm busking. But I would very often just start my set with that song. First of all, it's a beautiful song. Second of all, it's a prayer for blessing. So I would often mention it to people, like, oh, this first song, it's one of my old songs. It's a prayer for blessing. So I hope it blesses you while you're listening to it on that day. And in a way, it's a way for me to like align my focus and my vision of like what I'm doing. I am doing for God, even though it is my work.
This is fantastic.
And I'm in a sense, I'm doing something I enjoy, but it's also something that is important to me from the spiritual perspective, because I believe that like everything that we do is
for the glory of God.
Spiritual, it's for the glory of God, but it has a spiritual element to it.
Yes.
Whether we know it or not.
Yes, that's the point. I love this this way of explaining the things, and I agree totally when talking about performance. There is a very nice comment actually someone dropped in the chat, which is from Pietro, I guess, Pietro, and he says the Hebrew word for worship is service. The idea is to add value to something by the work of your hands. Beautiful. This is wonderful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I don't know which is the Hebrew word for worship. And
there's a couple. There's a few. There's there's a couple in Hebrew, there's a couple in Greek as well.
Okay.
The Bible's using.
Yeah, I guess the person here was mentioning the Hebrew one, and it would be nice to know the word.
I did do it.
I stopped hearing you for some reason. Can you hear me?
Okay, I tapped my screen and muted myself.
Okay. Yes, no problem. What did you say? What did you say again?
Oh, I was saying that I've done a couple of talks on like worship and like the biblical roots of worship, like
very nice.
But I can't remember the Hebrew ones.
Hebrew is such a difficult language. I was just in Israel, and it was like there is nothing I can understand. Like there is no. But I learned a couple of words. I really hope to start learning Hebrew properly. I think it's actually useful for us to understand the Bible even better. To do translations on our own, taste of also choosing the words is very nice. So, well, I guess we have to end it up here, even though I really liked talking with you, and I hope maybe in the future we are going to meet and talk about this more in person, and maybe as well in another episode. And I wish you all the best, and really looking forward to the release of new songs. And one day we'll come to South Bank then.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I know you support the project, and thank you so much for that. And yes, please guys, go on the website of Ela or the social media pages and follow her up, because she's always releasing good stuff.
Thank you.
No worries. Have a nice Sunday, and see you in London probably.
Yeah.
See you. What a wonderful guest, Ela. Really enjoyed talking to her, and I'm so excited for this new season coming up of the Sunday Musicians Café. And there are some comments, Ela at fault for the meeting. Yeah, this so much. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Michael, for the lovely feedback. And please, guys, if you have any other comments about this project, or also Ela, please follow her up on all the social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, and all the social media. I think she has a lot. Also TikTok, I don't know. And but she has a very nice website where you can actually buy the songs, the albums, and the singles. And as she said, she's busking all the time in South Bank mainly, and you can please go there if you live in London and enjoy Ela singing. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday, rest of the day, and thank you so much for being here, and see you next Sunday for another episode of Sunday Musicians Café.